this is Matt once again. What about the other videos? The paid requests, and for those interested in requesting any type of videos, topics, what have you, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both things are down below in the info box. And the person on Patreon had sent me this request, but they said review the new South Park 1 and 2. I didn't quite know what the person meant, and I sent them a message, but I didn't get a message back. So I'm assuming they mean the new season of South Park, and there's been 2 episodes. I would assume that. Because South Park's in season 26, and there's episode 1, Cupid Yay, which is their take on the recent Kanye West stuff, and then episode 2. This is definitely kind of a whiplash effect because, thanks to Edward, I've been following the other South Park older seasons. So to go from, I think it was a season, is it 13 or so? And then this is season 26. It feels like night and day, and not in a good way. Like, I've grown to like the older South Park. This, I was not a fan of it. These 2 new episodes, I was not a fan. I'm like, I didn't think these were funny. I didn't think they were, I mean, they're better animated because you have more of the HD transition. Even in the opening, the improved animation where they did a bit more of the town in the opening credits and the camera's following the kids in the bus, and you have more of these outside shots of the snowy town. But man, it just makes me go, what is up with these characters? And also, I guess it makes sense because so much time has passed. The voices are so... I was taken aback by it. I know people think I'm... Let's say if you're... Remember old South Park and then you watch the new one, everyone's voices are so much deeper. Like, it's as if the kids matured a lot deeper. They grew some hair down there. The balls just dropped. And especially Stan and Kyle, even a bit of Cartman, but especially Stan and Kyle. I would say Stan the most. I sound a bit deeper, and you really see the difference in age. And Kyle and Tolkien, Tolkien, because again, because of the difference, I'm like, why do they call him Tolkien? I had to look it up. Oh, there was an episode, I forget when, that they had called him Tolkien as in the Tolkien black character, and then, no, you're saying it wrong. It was Tolkien, like J.R. Tolkien. You think we would name our kid Tolkien? So apparently now it's Tolkien, and Kyle and Tolkien, they make these TikTok videos, and Stan is unhappy because Stan is jealous that Kyle is spending so much time with Tolkien. And like I said, everyone sounds a lot deeper. And it's going to the whole Kanye West thing where Kyle is Jewish. Kanye West has said Jewish runs all of Hollywood. And so Cartman, in order to get Stan back with Kyle, he wants to ruin the friendship between Kyle and Tolkien. And definitely Cartman seems a bit different, not just the voice, but usually in the past he would do this because he hates Kyle. And maybe that's part of the reason, but it feels more like he's doing it because he really cares for Stan, and he's doing this horrible thing, but he's doing it adamantly for Stan. And also there's this Cupid version of him, which I guess was established in an episode however long before. There's a Cupid version of Cartman. So I don't know if that's why Cartman seems a bit different, because his thoughts are now in this Cupid version. And this Cupid version is now called Cupid Yay, and he's trying to be like Kanye West, and so he'll spread the lie that Kyle runs Hollywood, so all these people want to pitch him ideas from movies. He's like, I don't run Hollywood. Cartman lives in a Coney Island hot dog place with his mom. Again, I don't know the context of that. So a lot of times I watch it with a sense of confusion of why is that and why is that? Why is there a Cupid version of him? Why did Cartman live in Hot Dog Coney Island place? When Cartman brings this up about this Cupid, why would Stan not believe in him? Stan believed in Mr. Hanky, the Christmas poo. You think he would give a little bit of leap of faith? Now, the only enjoyment I got out of it was when the kids are going up to Kyle, think he runs Hollywood, and they're saying lines like, not them, but also Randy, Stan's dad, are talking about how, people need to stop being woke anymore, and audiences want to be entertained. I mean, that's what killed the Marvel franchise. And whether they're trying, I don't know if they're trying to do it in a mocking. It didn't seem like they were trying to do it in a mocking way. It seemed like they were genuine about it. I'm like, yeah, I agree. Absolutely agree. Because they don't make it seem as if that context is strange or weird or out of the blue. So I'm glad they mentioned that. But there's not a whole lot of jokes done with it. Like they say it, and it's refreshing to hear someone say it. But I can't really think of any jokes done because of it, other than they just keep repeating that Kyle runs Hollywood and Kyle says I don't run Hollywood. So if they would have gone a bit more witty and funnier about the whole what's going on in Hollywood and the woke crowd, like that would have been more refreshing. But they don't really do a whole lot of that. Instead, Cartman's Cupid goes crazy and then starts shooting arrows, turning people into to go against Kyle. And then Cartman finally comes in, gets the Cupid, forces meditation down his throat, and now it's normal Cupid and changes people back. Kyle gives a speech about, no, this is who runs Hollywood, is of many people, many races, many cultures. I wouldn't be, I'm not going to get into that. But then the group say, wow, that's such a great speech. You should run for Hollywood. But as a story with characters, I mean, it leaves a lot to be desired. Number one, I just didn't find it that funny. I didn't find that hilarious. Also, character wise, none of the kids are going to ask about Cupid and what's the deal with that. There's not going to be a scene where Kyle and Tolkien are back together and like, hey, I'm sorry about what happened, blah blah blah. Or Stan, like Stan mentions, it's my fault, but then there's no other that's ever talked about later at the end of, hey, would you still be friends? Hey, let's all three of us hang out together. Hey, maybe they invite Stan to do TikToks with them, so it's the three of them instead of just Kyle and Tolkien. Now it's the three of them doing these TikToks. Oh, we didn't think you would be interested. Yeah, sure, dude. And then the three of them, like, anything to wrap up the character portions. But that doesn't come into play, which I thought was kind of egregious. I mean, I know it's South Park, but at the same time, when you're in season 26, you think some of that stuff would come up in the conversation. I'm just saying. And then episode 2, I cared even less about. Where Canada's in mourning because the queen passed away months ago. Kyle's brother Ike is sad, and Kyle's like, you need to get over it. I need to be on the computer. And which I'm surprised at this day and age they didn't just have more than one computer or a laptop or any sort of other devices, but he's not able to play the game. The other kids are playing the game without him and leveling up without him, and Kyle feels ostracized. So Butters comes in and says, the problem is your brand. My brand? Yeah, and brings him to this place to work on his brand. And I just didn't get the episode. I don't get the whole brand thing. I know they say it's you tell people who you are, even if it's not who you really are. And I mean, yeah, people have done that forever. It's called lying. It's called being full of it. But maybe I'm just not of the age and not of the mindset, not of the culture today, as I live out here in the middle of nowhere, away from civilization. Just not understanding what the whole point of this stuff was. I guess you just say I didn't get the joke. I didn't get the premise. And as it admits with the prince and his of the queen, Prince and his girlfriend wanting to do this worldwide privacy tour, becoming Kyle's neighbors, calls it a ruckus. Kyle telling him to be quiet. Kyle telling the story to his friends, and the friends pretty much tell him to shut up. And the prince and his girlfriend, I felt more like let's find a way to make fun of those two. I mean, I don't even know much about them. I don't keep track with the queen and the prince. I'm sorry, prince and the pauper, queen of the damned. I'm sorry. I don't keep up with that squat. And then it ends up with Kyle finding Butters getting the crap beaten out of him by a lady. And there was some funny bits with Butters, some of the stuff he says. But pretty much Kyle makes a speech. This is the second episode in a row where Kyle has to sit there and make a speech. He did at the end of this one. He does it at the end of the previous one. Kyle sitting there making a speech. So it feels like this redundant. 2 episodes in a row, Kyle's out there making a speech. This time about, it needs to be who you are on the inside, blah, blah, blah. All the kids leave the branding service. Out of the blue, the kids come up and say, you look like you need to go outside. Where that came from, I don't know. Like, why do the kids care now that Kyle needs to come outside? Why do they give a crap now? And even Carmen's not, like, making fun of him and stuff. And then they're playing basketball. So the prince also leaves that place. Goes to the kids, say, can I play? Sure. And you think he's going to play basketball, but he brings in a drum set and starts playing the drums. Like, that's the humor. Can I play? Sure. He's not going to play basketball. Brings a drum set and plays that. So I guess it's just an episode I just didn't get. Or maybe because watching these two, I'm more paying attention to how deeper the voices are and how people's personalities seem a bit different or a bit off. Or I guess by this point have changed a little bit here and there. And I'm not sure if I really like this. In fact, based on these two, I would say, no, I don't like this. And if this is a representation of what South Park is today, man, I know there are people that like it. I was the guy that I watched the South Park movie, the first one, liked it, didn't care much about the show. But as I've been watching it, thanks to another guy, Edward, I've been enjoying stuff. And then I see this, I went, this just isn't for me. The voices just don't sound right anymore. I get it, it's age. People get older. But it just don't sound right anymore. I just didn't think it was funny. Both episodes, I just didn't think it was that funny or entertaining. And I'll say at least they're 20 minutes long, so it's not long to look at. And the animation is better. Or maybe it's just because you see a bit more HD quality. But other than that, like the bit with Kanye West, I thought it was funnier with the fish sticks, the whole thing back in the day. This, it's like, I get why, but I just didn't think he was that clever. I didn't find much cleverness in that first episode. And the second one I thought was just in one ear out the other. That's just my opinion. But with that said, thanks for watching. Take care, and we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.